And hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tai Chi podcast. We have the esteemed Dane Dormio, as always, and myself, Andrew Brown, and we're joined by a guest, Mr. Yuan Shiying Lauscher from Chongqing, China. So he is joining us at 9:30 a.m. and his time and 5:30 p.m. our time. How are you doing, sir?
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, it's great to have a new friend on the other side of the world, and I'm glad that the time zones actually lined up for this, and it's not in the middle of the night for either one of us. It's great.
Yeah. So, sir, you are a Tai Chi instructor, a traditional Yang stylist based on the videos I saw. Could you tell us a little bit about your particular tradition?
The key point of our style is Song and Chen. Song and Chen. That's a huge subject of our branch. Because there's so many details. When you're learning, there are so many details you must care of Song and Chen. I think to this year I have already practiced for 27 years from the early 90s. Yes.
Wow.
I can feel that's very important. I spend a lot of time to learn that, to study, to search. Till the time of 2015, I have some sense. I can say I have confidence to say I have some sense of that 2 point. Yeah. Song Chen, release and think. If translated into English, release, relax or release and think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm interested to hear your origin story. How did you get into this all those years ago, and what's kept you going?
When I was a student in the university, one day one of my classmates told me, "Do you like Tai Chi?" I said, "I don't know anything about that." He told me, "It's very good. It's very good. It's not just a general exercise. It can combat." I asked, "Really?" So my classmate lead me to his master, to the teacher. Also, after a time, he becomes my teacher, Mr. Chen, to taught me the Yang style Tai Chi. At the very beginning of my study, my teacher told me our style are different from the national style. We are traditional style. We are inherited from person to person, from generation to generation. The grandmaster's name is Li Yaxuan, a former trailer in the army, in the old army, from the old army, a former trainer. So it's he's very good at this. When I was young, I just heard these stories. I don't care too much about it, but at the time, I can access the internet. I go out and check the information. I found that Li Yaxuan is really very famous. His main principle of Mr. Yang Chenfu. Yes. So the story is also simple. I just study and practice for 20 years or more. Yeah, that's my story.
Well, that's great.
Mm.
So 20 years of practice, or 27 years of practicing now. What would you say is one of the best lessons that you wish you could tell yourself when you started?
First of all, I think the form is very important. The traditional form is very important. When I see the video of Facebook or in YouTube, many friends in US, in Western countries, they very like. I feel they very like these martial arts, but they have so many concept of philosophy concept, such as yin yang. But I can remember when I as a beginner, I don't have so many abstract concepts. For me, the Tai Chi, the beginning stage of Tai Chi learning is just a movement training, action training. The posture is very important because there are so many details. Some of my friends told me, I think I already practiced Tai Chi for 5 years or more longer, but I think it's useless. It's useless, especially in the scenario of combat or push hand. In the competitive movements, it's useless. What I want to say, that's not true. Why you feel it's useless? Because you always practice this in a wrong way. That's why. Very simple.
So I'm curious about you mentioned push hands, and I was actually just wanting to ask, with the emphasis on the importance of the form, where does push hands come in? Because of course Tai Chi has the solo practice, which is primarily the form, and there's the partner practice, which is push hands. Where does the push hands come in, and how do these go together? Do you start doing both of them from the beginning, or does one come before the other? How do they fit together?
For me, the first 10 years, I can say, I focus on form. After that, I participate push hands training, push hands exercise. The push hands training also very important. First, you must do it between people. That's
practice alone.
The practice or none. The form practice can keep your 内劲, inner energy, can cultivate the inner energy. That's true. But the training between people, the push hand can verify the 内劲, can promote the 内劲, and the very important, promote the skill of the competitive skill or skill of combat. You must practice it from other persons, with other persons. Yeah.
Very true. So when you are trying to teach a student and you want to introduce combatives to them, you start with push hands, which is slow, restricted step probably, and then you slowly increase the exercise until they can move, and then maybe they're doing 2-step movements. When do you feel comfortable starting to say, okay, I'm going to throw punches at your face? Now you're gonna have to.
Below, I can say, you, if we just my trading just push hands, not combat trading, not
Oh.
like MMA, not combat,
Yeah.
just push hands, but just push hands, because push hands can give you so many things. You can feel the combat.
Yeah.
You
Without
can get some skill,
Mm-hmm.
get some skill. Our push hand trading is divided into two branches generally. One is step, fixed step. One is moving step. Below that, everyone have 2 or 4 smaller branches divided into. So for example, in the fixed step, we have single hands or double hands. Below the moving steps, we have in Chinese we have 四正手 1 2 大吕 3 3 is 参差 4 is 行步 totally 6 small branches.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting. It's an interesting way to break it up. Okay.
So after you mentioned you'd been training for 20 years, and was that the point when you transitioned to teaching, or where does that come about? How does one transition from being a Tai Chi player or practitioner to becoming a teacher?
I think that's my inner the inner allergy, 内劲 told me, if you don't have the 内劲 inner allergy, that means your form is not right. If your form practice is not right, you can feel the 内劲. After 15 years, I can feel 内劲. I verified the 内劲in the push hand practice. I can by now in the single fixed step push hand, I can play with 20 or 30 people. I just be the target. Everyone play with it with me for some seconds, then for some minutes. Then the other one is calm. The first one can't endure that. I'm always there. 10 or 20 persons every week in the park. So that's a point.
So you have to develop your own.
Maybe at the time of 2000 and 2010, the year.
That was when you started feeling your inner power and decided, okay, I'm able to teach now. Well, that's good. I like that. It's a good point to to be able to flip from student to teacher. So I saw your videos, and I really like the presentation. You have a really beautiful school you're teaching in, and I like the ruler you're putting out, where you're showing how many feet you're stepping through the form. That's a good idea. I like that.
Yes, that's the moving line is important. I think the moving line. He can tell you your pace.
Speaking of your school, would you tell us about the name of your school?
It's my friend's studio. It's my friend's studio.
Great.
Is it called the Aerial Tai Chi Dojo?
Aerial Tai Chi Dojo is a name of my group.
Mm.
Yeah. So what does that mean? Why is it called the Aerial Tai Chi Dojo? Because when I think of aerial, I think of like acro yoga and hanging from the silks,
jump.
and you know. This is great. Is a great name. Where does that come from?
Thank you. From the I think internet is on the arrow. Is arrow. So I call it Aerial Tai Chi Dojo. You say we are on the different place of Earth. If don't have internet, we can do nothing.
It's like a school without walls.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, good. All right. So you said so you're a Yang stylist. Did you ever practice any of the other styles of Tai Chi? Have you ever been introduced to Chen style?
I never play other styles. Only Yang style, Yang Chen Fu style. Only Yang Chen Fu style. Because at the beginning, my teacher told me you don't need to play other style. Just do good. Do good in one style. It's okay.
All right. Some of my Chinese friends told me that pretty much every kid goes to school in China learns wushu back in school. Like that's just part of the school curriculum. Did you ever practice wushu and kung fu when you were a young child? Get into the kung fu at all back then, or did you just start when you were 20 or in university?
Yes, just start in my early 20s in the university. Study Yang style Tai Chi, not other kinds of martial arts. I don't study other kinds of martial arts.
All right.
Speaking of training in martial arts as a kid, I actually lived and taught in China, taught high school in China for a little over a year, and I did the kids that I worked with didn't. They weren't studying martial arts. I taught some martial arts while I was there, but it wasn't really that popular, and particularly Tai Chi. My impression was that the kids in China, they know what Tai Chi is, but they think it's something that old people do, and they're really not interested in it. I'm curious. Do you think that Tai Chi is or could be good for young people and even kids to get into? And if so, what are the benefits of starting that early?
Of course, I think Tai Chi is good for young kids, and that's what a topic we need to do in the future. Because the common sense think Tai Chi is for older people, for elder people, but that's not the truth. That's not the truth. Personally, I started Tai Chi when I was young. I beneficial. It's beneficial me so much, so much. The appearance, I'm already on my 50s this year. Yeah, but so many people tell me you only 30s. Oh, thank you for Tai Chi.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. Well, did you know I'm actually 87?
80. Oh, I don't think so.
Speaking of the future of Tai Chi, I love that you said the future of Tai Chi is moving down the age ladder and more young people and even kids getting involved. What else do you see the future of Tai Chi being? Because Tai Chi has a long tradition, and it's thought of as a very traditional art. There's a lot of emphasis on preserving the tradition, but of course, like everything in the world and everything in the human world, certainly Tai Chi has evolved and changed over time, and certainly it will continue to do so. What do you see as being the future of Tai Chi? How do you think it will grow and evolve and change?
I think besides it's healthy. It's as a sport for the healthy and well-being or longevity for people. It also can collect by the by the by the trend by the trend by the fashion. It also can collect with the fashion. So that's a big subject. I often think about that.
Are you saying that you believe it will become more popular for health and wellness and longevity?
Yes, yes, yes. Also for the fatalist goer, for the face appearance, for your appearance. Also good for your appearance if you start practice.
Well, is that just true for Asian people, or does it apply? I mean, you kind of have an unfair advantage, you know?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, it might sound kind of shallow, but at least I think anything that gets people doing things actively that are good for their health and wellness and longevity is good, even if it comes just out of wanting to look young for longer. Hey, at least they're doing it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Young people, especially young women, is interested in this point.
I've heard Pilates has become very popular in Asia.
The difficulty is the duration is so long. I think a little bit long. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it takes a number of months of pretty hard commitment to learn a form, to learn a good long form. Even the 24 form, the standard, Beijing style, that thing, it takes people sometimes 6 months to learn. So it's a big commitment to start Tai Chi and like, oh, I really want to learn this practice and go for a long time. So you have to commit, fairly quickly and really want to do it, or you lose interest pretty fast. A lot of students, they'll start and they'll go for maybe 2 months and then just quit because they just see how deep the practice is and how long it's going to take to get anywhere.
Yes, it's difficult to comparing with lifestyle, modern lifestyle. Yes.
Yeah, definitely a lifestyle change. That's a good point. So when you're teaching, what do you start with? Do you just start with basics like standing training and for 3 months?
I start with the form.
Start right away with the form.
Just start with the form. Just shooting my video. That's actually it's the first part of non-form Yang style. The first part. Totally, there are 3 parts. The video is only the first part. The first part. Always, normally I use I teach the first part to the beginner, to my students. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that it was called the 16 form in the video I watched.
16
Yeah,
movement.
I never heard of the 16 form. Is that the whole form, or is that the first part that you were talking about?
The first part. That's a problem. In China, different branch of Tai Chi have their own name of the form. Maybe in some branch they called it 18 form or 20 form, or 20 movements or 18 movements. In my branch, we call it 16 form, because actually the name I can introduce the name come from. I count the single movement in part 1. The single movement in part 1. I count it's in the number of 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned one of the benefits being fitness, and I realized that might sound strange to a lot of people who think Tai Chi is all slow, gentle movement. What about somebody who wants to be healthy and all, but they also want to be fit and physically active? How big of a role does calisthenics and physical fitness play? I mean, do you actually get to move fast and use your muscles?
When we practice, we are slowly. But if you are apply it in, for example, in the combat, you can feel easy to move fast. No prohibit, no obstacle to be fast. If you have the push hand training, you can feel that. It's very easy to be fast.
You're saying if you train slow, then moving fast is easy.
Yes, because your body is release. Your body is release. That can make you move very fast. If your body is this,
tense.
You can move fast. Same phenomenon you can find in the football.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be relaxed.
I'm also a football fan, soccer fan. Same phenomenon you can find in the football match.
So is there in the course of training, is there more, like, do you do more intense exercise, like for strengthening, developing strength and flexibility? I know some teachers emphasize the physical conditioning a lot, especially in the beginning, in terms of getting in really good physical shape. How big of a role does that play in the training? Do you do some of that in addition to doing the form very slowly? I mean, if somebody wanted to, like, lose weight, for example, if somebody wanted to get in good shape or lose weight, would Tai Chi be a good way for them to do that?
Yes, it's good for lose weight. It's typical every I forget his words. Aerobatic 有氧运动. I check aerobatic movement. No. I must check the words. Sorry. That's a little bit.
Good practice for you.
Yeah.
Young, like swimming.
Yeah, a little bit like swimming.
Are you thinking of the word aerobic? There's Andrew showing off.
small non-capacity and large heavy exercise. Small non-capacity and heavy exercise. Can you figure out?
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say.
Speaking of the future of Tai Chi, one thing that I see happening already, and I think can be expected to happen even more in the future, is that there's more people teaching and learning Tai Chi online. And of course, your school is a perfect example that it doesn't mean that it's going to replace learning in person directly from a teacher. That's always going to be there. But for one thing, there are people who can't find a teacher where they are, or who can't find the right kind of teacher where they are. They can't find the kind of teacher that they want. And then also there's always, even if you do have a teacher that you're learning with, there's always more you can learn. And the more you're able to get exposed to, the deeper you can take your practice. And so what you're teaching on YouTube, you have a YouTube channel, which I hope you'll put that link in the comments on this video. If you put the link for your YouTube channel in the comments on this video, people will be able to get there. And there's very beautiful and well-made videos, as Andrew mentioned. What made you want to teach that way? What made you want to teach Tai Chi online and reach out to people on the other side of the world?
Yes, that's a problem. On my channel, on my video, I say when you're at the beginning stage, you can imitate from the video, imitate the basic movement from the video, but that cannot place the on-site training, means face-to-face training. That can replace the face-to-face training. But after that, for example, I have the chance to US to teach students, but after I finish my course, my on-site course, there have another important point is to correct your movement. By the internet, by the video communication, I can do the correction. Everyone have smartphone. If you yes, if you ask your family to have a video of your play, I can correct the movement, and I use the software to label. And I tell you, you must care about your elbow or your waist, or your whole skeleton should be up and down. So on. Yeah. So I think by the internet we can do so much, do many things. The effect is better than the last period. Yeah. The total effect is better than last period. For example, 100 years before, people only have a book, maybe have some graphic. That's very abstract. It's very the information is very little. It's seldom, the information.
Yeah, you really had to have a teacher 100 years ago. It was almost impossible to learn it properly without a teacher.
At the time of Yang Luchan, Yang Chenfu, the information is very slow and seldom.
Yeah, there are people complain on the internet about all kinds of stuff. People complain about, oh, you can't learn anything from books, or you can't learn from videos. But the fact is, it's all good. I mean, it doesn't replace anything. It's all good. If you are learning directly from a teacher, it's good. You can also learn really great things from books, especially if you already have a base of experience. Once you have a base of experience, then you can benefit a lot from reading books. I've learned a lot from books on Tai Chi, and now we've got videos and online courses, and before long we'll have the virtual technology, or the virtual reality technology is just going to keep getting better and better, and it's all good. It all serves to enrich human beings and bring these practices to more people. So it's all for the benefit of humanity.
Yes, I totally agree with you.
The world needs more Tai Chi, not less.
Yes, that's great. uh, 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 then could you tell me name of the friends in black t-shirt?
Oh,
You don't
my
Yes.
name
tell
is Andrew.
Yes, Dane and
Dan and
Andrew.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Ah,
Or Andali. Andali 是我的中文的名字。
安大里。We can add Facebook friends.
Yes. Thank you.
yeah, I'm glad you're able to be on Facebook. I guess you have a VPN or something.
BP and something.
A VPN don't you need to have a VPN
I
to
have
be
a
on?
VPN. I buy the VPN in China. I must have a VPN.
Yes.
Otherwise, I can't go out.
You have to use a VPN to get past the Great Firewall and access the evil American social media.
Not evil. Not evil.
People in America also think Facebook is evil, but they use it anyway. But I agree. If it wasn't for Facebook and YouTube and all this, this great, wonderful, evil social media, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So I guess you just gotta take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like the Tao. You take the yin with the yang.
I like internet. I like Facebook. It's very important for people. I think the communication is very important. Although something is sensible here, but for me, personally, I must have a VPN.
Mm.
Speaking of the U.S., have you visited the U.S.?
Yes, Coast Bend. Western Bend.
Yeah. Arizona, right?
My cousin, my sister living Seattle.
Oh, Seattle.
And LA. Yeah, I go to US at 2015. I like
Cool.
US.
Good. Well, I like China. I was in Dongfeng, and I got to go to Shaolin. That was pretty fun.
Dongfeng.
Yeah, I went to Shaolin, the Shaolin Temple, and got to meet.
Oh, Shaolin Temple. Shaolin.
Yeah.
Shaolin.
And then I got to meet the abbot, and good time. Got to practice at a great school, so had a great time.
In Henan province.
Yeah, Henan province. Yeah. That's a Lohan Yuan. So it was a school dedicated to the 18 Lohan fists.
Oh,
yeah.
I heard about that.
So
that's another branch of China martial arts. Big branch.
Yeah, big branch. Well, sir, the only other question I had, you said your style is distinct from the national style. So you said your Yang style is very traditional versus maybe like the modern 24. Could you give us a point or two of what the difference would be? What do you think the distinction is?
No, there are so many details, so many points. For example, in traditional style, we don't suggest to move your foot up, especially the toe. Don't up your toe when you practice the form. Don't. For example, in the bow stance, don't up your toe. At first, I just think that's a simple words, but as time goes by, I feel that's very important. That's very important, especially want to get the inner allergy. 内劲, you want to get to the 内劲. That's a key point. That's a key point.
Okay.
Secondly, the song, how to achieve song. Yeah, we don't suggest to act as dance. Uh, if you want to get the feeling of song, maybe your shape to others is very release. Sometimes maybe especially release. Just like don't strings. Just now Dan told me slowly and weak, slowly and weak. But you can get the feeling of song. Song can give you force. Song can give you force. That's true. That's true.
Mhm.
After long time practice, you can get force from song. It's very very
Tricky.
very tricky, very tricky
Mm.
for people to understand. Very tricky. I think I like. That's why I like Tai Chi.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, my first teacher always made a distinction between sleepy Tai Chi and engaged. So being soft and slow doesn't mean
Mm,
uh, sleepy Tai Chi, like kind of weak, a little
mm,
flaccid,
mm, mm,
versus like
mm,
powerful Tai Chi but still slow and relaxed.
mm, mm, mm. Yes, actually, in our context, there don't have sleepy or powerful. We don't
Mm.
have such words. We only focus on song. Are you
Mm.
do you achieve song or chen? Do you achieve release or think? We just see this. We just see this. That means the mainly point on your shoulder or
Mhm.
elbow or wrist or finger, the whole body. You you must care about that. That's so
Mm.
many details. That's so many details. I must teach that in the form training. Form
Mm.
training is important.
Very-
Mm.
All right. Well, Dane, do you have any other questions for the teacher? Let's see you in.
Well, actually, yeah, I've got a bunch, but I know we only have so much time, and I know attention span and all for our viewers. So perhaps we'll have further conversations someday. I hope that we'll get to meet up either in the U.S. or China or somewhere out in the world and do some push hands one of these days. That'll be really great. I I want to say I love uh, what you were just saying about the details, because we talk about the health and wellness benefits of Tai Chi a lot, and put a lot of emphasis on that health, wellness, and longevity. But something that I think is maybe is just as important, if not more, is the mental intellectual benefits, in the sense that Tai Chi doesn't just develop the muscles and the physical body, it develops the entire nervous system. And there's supposedly there's an epidemic today of ADHD in kids and adults, that nobody can pay attention to anything for more than 20 seconds. And there's this is one reason meditation is becoming so big. But of course, meditation doesn't benefit the body the way that Tai Chi does. And my favorite thing about Tai Chi is that it combines the body, mind, and the spirit into one activity, and you're really training the brain to concentrate, to focus, and to pay attention, to be sensitive to very small details. Like it might sound funny that you're saying, oh, it's a big deal to not lift the toe off the ground. But if you get into it, you realize, yeah, that kind of thing, the more you practice, you you become sensitive to, and you realize that the small details make a big difference.
Yes.
And so for developing the ability to concentrate, for developing sensitivity, perceptual acuity, and for developing the mind body system as a whole, and also approaching something like you said, you were training for over 15 years before you really felt like you had developed to a certain level where you were ready to teach, and your skill was highly developed. And so just playing playing the long game, starting something and going, I know I might not immediately get results from this right away. I'm going to be at this for a while. As the saying is, how you do anything is how you do everything. So for developing the sense of persistence and perseverance and the ability to pursue something over the long term that's going to benefit you over the long term, I think the benefits of Tai Chi are something that the world needs now more than ever. So I really appreciate you reaching out and sharing these gifts with the world. And I also want to make sure that people know where to find you on YouTube. So be sure to put a link to your channel here in the comments. And yeah, it's been really, really great getting a look at getting a look into your world. So I appreciate you reaching out and appreciate coming on, and I'm looking forward to staying in touch.
Yeah.
My player. Thanks for Dan. Thanks for Andrew. I have the last point here. Just now you say Tai Chi not treating the muscle. That's not right. Tai Chi can treating the red flesh, red muscle. Yeah, that's verified by the sports scientist.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, what I said was
they got thighs of steel.
What I said was, it doesn't just train the muscles.
Yeah.
It trains all the, and that's actually a huge thing too, is that people in the West especially think of exercise, it's for the muscles, and it trains the muscles and the cardiovascular system, calisthenics, strength training, cardio, that sort of thing. We think of fitness as the muscles and the circulatory system, the cardiovascular system, but Tai Chi trains these things as well as all the other systems of the body, the organ systems, the nervous system, the energetic system, the mind, the emotions, all of it at once.
Combine these things together. Yes.
Yeah. The best of all worlds.
Yeah, it's my favorite hobby, my greatest exercise, and ultimate treasure. I love it. I love Tai Chi so much. I can't talk about Tai Chi enough.
Yeah, it's nice.
Well, we should probably get off here before we end up talking all night.
Okay. That's the end of our interview.
Yes, sir.
To be continued.
Yes.
Okay. See you.
Yeah, when you finish your series about the 16 form, I think we'll have you on to talk about the whole form as a system.
Okay.
And when you're ready to come to San Diego and teach a seminar, let us know.
Yes, come on over.
I hope so. I connect to you.
All right.
Great. Yeah, Yuan Shifu, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye-bye.